Hello and welcome to AutoCrib.net 4.1 Access Controls webinar. In this webinar, we will go over the new enhancements that were made to access controls in the AutoCrib.net 4.1 software. The Access module is now divided into 3 sub-modules: the Wizard, Employee Access, and Profile. We will start by looking at the Access Wizard. The Access Controls Wizard allows you to quickly set up or update access controls on your system using 4 simple steps. To access the Wizard, navigate to Cribs, Access, Wizard. So in step number 1, you need to select the employees that you would like to add or update access controls for from the Select Employee box. Then click the Add button and click Next. This will take you to step 2. If you would like to restrict the selected employee's access to a crib or multiple cribs, select the crib or crib numbers, then click the Add button. If you scroll down further in the screen, you can expand the permissions section. Now this section would allow you to set the crib level permissions that the profile member will have at the AutoCrib machine software. So these are the default settings. But if you would like to change the default settings, you can do so on this screen. So for example, the default for the admin access is no, this group contains standard everyday users. Or you can make this group supervisor rights. You can decide whether or not this group should have access to the stock module at the machine. You can apply a monthly cost limit for the crib. You can set the shift times when the employees are allowed to access the machine. The standard usage settings allows the user to see the issue, locate, and kit issue buttons on the machine software. They also will have access to the return button and adjust. You can add additional admin settings for the crib by allowing them to access the physical button, maintain, or console. The force reference issue of an item is set by default. You can also lock the department if the employees need to be tied to a specific department. You can also leave the permissions with the default values and edit them at a later time. So once you have selected and added your cribs, you can click on the Next button. You will then be directed to step number 3. In step 3, you will select the items that you wish to create access controls restrictions for from the Select Item box. Then click the Add button. The Item Rules pop-up will appear. In this screen, you will set up the maximum quantity allowed per the selected frequency. So first, you will enter the maximum quantity allowed for the user. In our example, we will enter 2. You can then set the frequency. The available options are per day, per week, and you can now select a specific day of the week where you would like the access controls to reset. Per month, this is a calendar month. Per year is a calendar year. Or you can set it to reset every 15 days, or you can change and update the number to however many days you like. So if you would like the access to reset controls to reset every 10 days, I'm just going to type 10 in this field. And at the bottom of the screen, you can see an example of the settings that you have selected. So with the settings that we have selected in this example, employee 1010 can issue out a maximum of 2 every 15 days. So once we've completed the screen, we're going to click the Add button and click Next. This will take us to the final step in the wizard, step number 4. So in this step, you can make a final review of the access controls that you are about to apply. You also have the option to make changes, or the changes you can either select or leave the default effective now. So that means that as soon as you apply the access controls, they will start taking effect. Or you can ask it to start activating sometime in a future date by selecting the Effective On radio button and selecting the date in which you would like your access controls to start taking effect. So once you've made your selection, you're going to go ahead and click the Submit Access Controls button. You will then see this pop-up box that says, "Great, access control rules have now been created." So on this screen, you will have to select one of 3 options. The first option allows you to save access controls settings into a new profile. So you can hover your mouse over the blue question mark icon to see an explanation of what is a profile. So a profile allows you to easily apply access control settings to new and existing users. So when you select a user and assign them to a profile, they will automatically inherit all the profile access controls settings. So if you would like to proceed with this option, you would have to click the radio button next to Yes, save these settings to a new profile. You would have to type in a new profile name and a description. The second option allows you to add the settings to an existing profile. Again, you can click or hover your mouse over the blue question mark icon to see additional details and explanations for this option. If you wish to move forward with this option, all you need to do is check or select the radio button next to Yes, add these settings to an existing profile. The final option is to not save these specific settings for future use. So in our example, I will select No, I do not plan on using these settings again, and then click the Next button. The next screen that will come up is the Crib Access Controls Not Detected screen. So if access controls have not yet been enabled for the cribs in your system, you will see this pop-up box. But if you already activated your crib access, you will not see this pop-up box. So on this screen, you have to select one of 2 options. So option 1 says, yes, apply employee access controls to the following cribs. Again, you can hover over the blue question mark icon to see further explanation of this field. Option 2 is no, not at this moment. And again, you can hover your mouse over the blue question mark to see further details. If you select no, not at this moment, It tells you here that you can always edit and enable the controls at a later time by navigating to Tool Cribs Details and then enabling the EMP Access checkbox. So we are going to select No, not at this moment, then click the Next button. So if access controls have already been set up previously on this set of employees, you will see the pop-up box that says Previous Access Controls Detected. From this screen, you can select either to append the new rules to the current existing access rules, or if you want to start over and delete all existing access control rules and overwrite them with the new rules, you will select the Override Existing Access Controls radio button. So I'm going to select the Override button, and I'm going to click on Submit. So now you should see the message that says that access control updated successfully. So next, we are going to take a look at the Employee Access module. This module allows you to update or remove access controls for individual crib, items, and employees. It also allows the update of multiple employees at the same time using the bulk update. And the Employee Access module is divided into 3 submodules: the Update, Bulk Update, and Remove. We're going to start with the Update screen. The Update screen allows you to view and update access control permissions for the crib, the item, and employee. So notice that when I clicked the Update button, it automatically defaulted to the Employees section of the screen. So from this section, I can select an employee and quickly see what access controls they currently have. So if I look at employee 1111, I can see that they have 3 items. In their access controls, I can see the maximum and the frequency numbers for these items. I can also see what crib numbers they are restricted from in this screen. So from this screen, I can also make quick changes to the employee's access by clicking the Add button under the Items box to add additional items to their access. I can also check and remove items from their access. I can also add additional cribs by clicking the Add button under the Crib section, or I can remove restrictions from current cribs by clicking the Remove button and checking the box next to the crib I wish to remove. Now, if we scroll up to the top of this screen, you will see the cribs section on the very top. So from here, you can select a crib to review and update the employee's permissions. So when I click on crib 1, I can see that there is a list of employees here that cannot access this particular crib, and these are the employees that can access those cribs. I can edit the list by either adding or removing employees from one box to another by checking the employee number checkbox, then clicking on either Add or Remove. The The middle section of the screen is the Items section. So from the Items section, you can select an item from the Select Item box to view and update the access levels for the employee that use it. So for example, by selecting or clicking item 00111, I can see that these 3 employees are set up with access rules for this particular item. I can also see the max and the frequency. You can quickly remove an employee from the list, or you can add additional employees to the list. The next screen we're going to look at is the bulk update screen. So the bulk update screen allows you to update access control permissions for multiple employees at the same time. So from this screen, you can click the Add button located under the Employee box, select the employees that you would like to update, and click the Add button. Next, you will click the Add button under the Item Access Controls for Employee box. From this screen, you can select your items, click Add, set up the maximum quantity allowed and the frequency. Again, you can see the example of your setting at the bottom of the screen, and click the Add button. If you would like to add crib restrictions to the employees, you can click the Add button under the Crib section, select the crib, click the Add button. So once you've made your selections, again, you will see 2 choices here at the bottom. You can either append the new access rules to existing access rules, or you can overwrite the existing access controls with the new access controls. So once you've made your selection, you're going to click the Submit Access Controls button. Then you will see the message on the top, Access Controls Updated Successfully. The next screen that we're going to look at is the Remove screen. The Remove screen allows you to easily remove access controls from a selected employee. So you can start by selecting an employee from the Employee box. You can then review their item and crib access controls. You can also quickly remove a profile that's currently assigned to the employee by clicking the Remove Access Control Profile button. You can also remove item access rules by checking the checkbox next to the item, then clicking the Remove Item Access Rules. And you can remove crib access rules, again, by checking the box next to the crib number and then selecting the Remove Crib Access Rules. So down at the bottom, you will have 2 more options. You can remove all crib access controls in your entire system by clicking the Click Here to Remove All Rules for Crib Access Controls. You can also remove all item access controls from your system by clicking the Click Here to Remove All Rules for Item Access Controls. When you click these buttons, it will ask you to enter your credentials, your user ID and password to verify your identity before removing all of the access controls. So now you can see that all item access controls have been removed from my system. Next, we're going to take a look at the Access Profile module. So the Profile module stores access controls which can be inherited by employees in the AutoCrypt system. So all changes made to the profiles will automatically be inherited by the employees that are assigned to that profile. The Employee Access module, or the Profile module, is divided into three sub-modules. They are the Assign, Manage, and Update Multiple Profiles. So we're going to start by looking at the Assign screen. So the Assign Profile screen allows you to assign existing profiles to employees. The assigned employees will inherit the access controls of the selected profile. So to assign a profile to an employee, select the desired profile from the profile box. Then click the Add button. Select the desired employees and click Add. From this screen, you have two profile options at the bottom. You can either lock the access profile to the selected employee. So that means that when the profile items are added, removed, or updated, this employee will always inherit the new rules. If the selected employee already has a profile assigned, the rules will be overwritten by the new profile that we're selecting in this screen. In addition, this employee will always retain the exact access profile settings. The other selection you can make here is to keep your profile unlocked. So when it's unlocked, the employee can have access control rules that are different from the access controls assigned through the profile. They will retain the existing permissions that they currently have, and the profile access controls will be added to these existing permissions. So if there are any duplicate items, the access rules from the new profile will be taken. So once you've made your selection here, you're going to click the Add Employees button. You will then see the message that the employee was added to the profile. The next screen we're going to look at is the Manage Profile screen. So the Manage Profile screen allows you to create, remove, copy, and edit profiles. And again, profiles store access control details which can be inherited by employees in the AutoCrypt system. All changes made to the profiles will be inherited by the employees that are assigned to it. So to add a new profile, click the Add button. You will then need to enter a profile name and a description. So we are going to use painters as our profile. Now we're going to click Submit. You will now see the new profile name in the profile box. So you're going to select the new profile name. Then you are going to, if you want to add any crib restrictions, you can click the Add button under the Cribs section, select the crib, and click the Add button. Next, you will click the Add button under the Items section to add items to the profile. So once you've selected your items, click the Add button. Then you will have to set your maximum quantity and frequency. Then click the Add button. If you scroll down, you can see the crib permissions that can be inherited by the new profile. So if you want all the employees that are going to have this profile assigned to have issue button access and locate button access at the machine, you can check those two boxes, then click the Update button. Finally, you will scroll down to the bottom and you will see the effective date. So you can either select the profile to start the access controls as of now, or you can select a date in the future in which you would like the access controls to begin. And then you will select the appropriate date from the calendar and click on Save Profile Settings. You will see the message that access controls were updated successfully. Now, once you've created your profiles, you can always go into the Manage Profiles screen, and you can update your profiles again by selecting the profile name and then adding or removing cribs or adding or removing items. You can also duplicate the profile if you wish by clicking the Duplicate Profile button. You can remove profiles from the system or add new profiles to the system. The next screen we're going to look at is the Update Multiple Profiles screen. So this module allows you to update a set of rules to multiple profiles at the same time. So if, for example, we would like to add a crib restrictions to our 3 profiles, first we can select the Add button under the crib section, select the new crib, click the Add button. Next, we can add a new item to our profiles. So in the Item section, we're going to click the Add button, select our item, click Add, enter in the maximum quantity and frequency. Click the Add button at the bottom. Then we can select the profiles that we would like to add these permissions to. Click the Add button. And again, we would have to select an effective date. Then click on Save Profile Settings, and you should see the message that access controls were updated successfully. You can also access and edit an individual employee's access controls through the Database Employee module. So you can select the employee that you wish to edit, then click on the Access tab. And from this screen, you can update their crib level permissions. You can also add, remove crib access, as well as insert additional items or delete current items. You can also update the max and frequency for those items. So this concludes our webinar. I would like to thank you for joining.